real-life solutions, coaching, counseling, naturopathic medicine, insights for successful living, and getting better with Ann Beal.
Welcome to Getting Better. Today, we are going to help you get better. If you're a father today, this is our Father's Day special. And we want to help you know how to become a role model for your family, to know how to lead them to health, fitness, wellness, just an all-over wellness for your family. So as a dad, you can be a great role model for that. But I have Thomas Jusayan here to help me with this today. So Thomas Jusayan, he's an incredible guy. You've been here before.
Yes, I have.
And he is founder of Peak Performance Fitness. And he's a certified nutrition and personal trainer. And he's a transformation and weight loss expert, which I love having him on for weight loss as well. And he specializes in natural hormone balance and cellular repair and maintenance. And he has 17 years experience as a master level certified trainer. And so that is why I have him on today. Thank you for being here, Thomas.
Thank you, Ann. I appreciate you. It's always an honor every time I come here to talk about anything that you want to talk about in regards to health and wellness. It's really great. And I love, trying to help people as much as I can. So it's a truly great honor for me to be here. Thank you.
Well, and I know you have been real busy opening your gym.
Yes.
And just doing so much, and you have lots of clients. Do you call them clients?
I call them my friends.
You call them your friends. Yes. And so I had asked him if he would be willing to help me today to help fathers know how to lead their family to fitness and wellness.
Yes.
And fathers have a great responsibility to help lead their families in so many ways.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, just the responsibility of being a dad in itself is not just going to be health and fitness, of course. I mean, you have your whole family, you have financial responsibility as well. So a lot of these things that we do as a father, it's more than just health and wellness. Probably fitness and nutrition is probably going to be the last thing on the list when it comes to being a father or being a parent in general. So I truly understand there's going to be a lot of people out there who really can't prioritize their life as far as what to do first when it comes to, eating healthy, living a healthier lifestyle, making good choices, and that all comes with education, learning, and also hereditary habits that we got from our parents. So a lot of those things that we kind of accumulate over time, no one ever taught us how to be a good father except our own parents, right?
Right.
So,
and did your parents model fitness?
You know what? That's the funny thing is it's not really modeling of fitness. They were actually anti-exercise.
They were anti-exercise?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but they were always, advising us about being open to nutrition as far as food, like being open to other cultures. And that's one thing that might have transferred into my the way I teach nutrition now, is because they help me open my eyes as far as other cultural foods that are out there. And I was able to connect those things together. It's almost like a holy moment where you figured out that culturally there are differences, right? And that helped me transfer that into my knowledge into nutrition, because I'm not looking at the nutritional aspect from one side. I'm looking at it from every country in the world that I've been to and I have visited. So it was really a great experience for me, being able to travel with my parents and being able to see other people culturally, how they stay active, right? So, one of the things that we do know as Americans, we have a problem with that.
Yes,
we don't see food holistically as a whole. We see it from what is prepared in front of us, activity as well.
So your parents modeled good nutrition. Would you say, like a wellness perspective when it comes to how you eat? They
always tell me try something at least once, right? And if you don't like it, you can always say no the next time, right? So that opened up a lot of things for me just to at least try something that is outside my comfort zone. Because as a child, of course, what I would want to do is I want to eat candy, cookies, cakes, right?
Yeah.
But as an adult, we are not supposed to make those same choices.
And if you see Thomas, you know he probably doesn't eat that. Do you eat that now?
I do, but in a good, balanced way.
If you'd like to see Thomas, just go to Getting Better with Ann Beal Facebook, We're streaming live right now, and you can go chat there, but you can also see him because I don't know. You do have, I've asked you that before. You don't look like you have a lick of fat on your body.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know that you would say you do.
I do, of course. I mean, there's no way I can function without it.
That's true. Exactly. We need fat.
Exactly.
Well, and you do believe that nutrition is a very important part of staying fit.
That's
and being
correct.
able to get the tone that you want and the look that you want.
Right. And actually, in a nutritional standpoint or overall wellness, aesthetic look is probably the last thing that's of a concern. Because if you're looking at it from an overall standpoint, the main thing that you really want to try to take care of are your cells and organs.
On the inside.
On the inside, right? Your
Yeah.
brain, your heart, your lungs, all the bodily functions that makes you whole, right? So those are the first thing that you want to take care of first. Aesthetically, that can come through training. And that's when a lot of people use exercise in a form to where they can carve their body in the way they want, right? And so it's just really just a matter of being able to balance those two together. So someone who's healthy doesn't necessarily mean that they look the part, but they're super healthy. I know a lot of people who are in their 80s and,
88, 90,
80,
yeah,
90, they are super
amazing.
healthy. They can go to the doctor today and have no medical condition whatsoever, right? Dr. Wallach would be one of them.
He would be one of them.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of, he doesn't necessarily exercise, but he's active.
Very.
Right? He's
Go,
a very
go, go.
active person. So he goes to a lot of tours and he does a lot of speaking engagements. And so that makes him a very active person. But internally, he's very healthy.
Yes.
And that's what, to me, health is all about.
And so your parents got you out and about a lot. It sounds like you went a lot of places and
That's
did a
correct.
lot of things. So even though fitness-wise you weren't doing like what we might call exercise like in a gym.
Correct.
You know, like running or, I mean, you
Lifting
didn't have
weights.
this. Yeah, you were just, your lifestyle was going, getting out, walking,
Right.
doing stuff, seeing things, going on
Traveling,
trips,
exploring,
traveling, exploring. How
exactly.
wonderful is that? Yes. So I know today when you share with dads how to model that for their family, your guide, I'm going to let you take it from here. What to you are the most, where do you want to start?
So as a father myself, and I don't have any little children anymore, but I have, she's grown now. But from when we first started, the first thing that I would urge the dads to do is to look at what you have in your home, right? If this is something you feel safe that you would give to even your dogs or pets, then I would say, yeah, that would consider as healthy, right? But if you wouldn't even consider that for some people, to your animals, you wouldn't want to feed it to your children.
So that's interesting. So if it's not good enough for your animals, then it's not good enough for you. If
It
you're
should
worried
be.
it might hurt your animals, so it's interesting when you say that because chocolate will hurt your animals.
That's right. That's right. And a little bit of chocolate for humans is okay, but too much of it, of course, we know already that will, especially the ones that are not in a dark form or whole, then yeah, it would be filled with sugar, right?
But nobody would probably give their dog cake.
No.
Like a birthday cake.
Of course not.
No.
Candy, cheesecakes, right? You
Yeah.
wouldn't. You wouldn't give your dog unless he just accidentally fell from the table.
Right.
Right? But you wouldn't feed that to them every single day. And you definitely wouldn't feed them hot dogs with mustard and nacho chips every day. Unless, again, it accidentally fell from the table, right? So you wouldn't use the same diets for your pets as you would use for your children. Why wouldn't you? Right? So the same when you give your children separate food to eat and you eat something totally different. So when you're going into a health kick, the first thing that I've seen a lot of parents do is they separate their meals. They eat a healthy meal, and then their kids eat what kids would eat.
Yes, they do
Nachos,
that.
hot dogs,
Yes,
chips,
a
right?
A lot of moms
Which
will do that.
doesn't make any sense,
No.
right? Why would you continue to feed your kids something you wouldn't even eat? Because if you're going to a healthy lifestyle, your children should do the same thing.
And there are lots of dads that will, if they do have time, and they'll make time. They'll go work out at a club. Or
Right.
They will do weights or something like that, and they'll take time away from their families to do that. But they don't necessarily make their families a part of that.
Correct.
And they may gripe, about that they don't do anything or whatever. And so if they model it, and they also kind of micromanage the buying of food and that kind of stuff. But
Right.
definitely, that's a good, I had never thought about it. If you can't give it to your dog, don't eat it.
Right. And again, leading the family into a healthy lifestyle is not about being militant, saying this is what you're going to do and you're not going to do anything else. that you have to find a balance on that. You know, if you're going to go work out and you take the time in your day to work out, then you should take the time in your day or in your week to where you should take your children out so they can also do the same thing, right? Don't just take them to practice and let the coach or whoever is running the show, let them, you know, oh, you get to work out with your sports. Well, that's not something modeling after someone that says, hey, you know, I'm the dad here, you should do what I do. But you're allowing someone else to lead your children to do that.
And it's
right?
very enjoyable if you do it as, like, I would just take my kids out biking, you know,
Yes.
bike riding, just natural bike riding, or we'd bike to the park.
Exactly.
Or things like that. So they're getting out in the sun.
Right.
And they're getting exercise, but they don't really think of it as that.
I think creating memories with your children is probably what you should focus on. You know, like, for example, I taught my daughter when she was still little how to make her own breakfast, how to cook lunch and dinner, and I would sit there and we would bake together. Now, I'm not telling her that this is a healthy way, because that's how I learned from watching my parents and my grandparents cook, right? So I'm trying to model that to say, hey, let's do this together so we can create memories, right, together. So now she's actually cooking for herself. She's meal prepping on her own. And now she can decipher whether or not something is healthy or not healthy. She can change the diet if she wants to. But that's something that we both created together. And we would, you know, she would go to practice, and then I would practice with her on the side, and we would have our own, you know, side practice of our own. And that would teach her how to be disciplined, right? But I'm always with her all the time, you know, and I don't want to be like the helicopter parent, and I'm not trying to be. I actually had pushed her to be coached by someone else, because I felt like I don't want to always be her coach. I want to be her dad. But she feels more comfortable with me around over someone else. And that meant a lot to me.
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 24. Or she'll be turning 25, actually, in September.
Okay, so she meal preps. I'm like, oh,
Yes,
my gosh,
yeah.
really? Well, so you taught her meal prepping? Prepping?
In a roundabout way, yes. She saw me do it, and so now she's modeling after that.
Explain what meal prepping is.
So meal prepping is just something that you would plan ahead. Some people plan it for the entire week, and some people create a menu for a couple of days. You know, so we always try to create a menu for the week, something that we can use, whatever is in the refrigerator. That's what we would do. Something to try to be as creative as possible, right? I don't want it to be boring. I want it to be creative. So meal prepping becomes kind of more of a just creating a menu. And sometimes we would just create a lunch menu and a breakfast menu, or a lunch menu and a dinner menu, and then we just, you know, eat whatever we feel like for breakfast, right? But there's always has to be healthy options so that they can have options to choose healthier. If you give them bad options, they'll choose that.
Yes, and when you're meal prepping, you're making like 3 meals. You're making enough for like the week, right?
As
so
much
you're
as
putting
possible,
it away,
yeah.
but it could be one meal that you make for and then you put them in Tupperware or whatever. Right.
It could be like a crock pot meal to where it can last a couple of days. You know, that's the easy way to do it if you have a large family. You know, or you can just bake a whole slew of things, or grill them over the weekend, and anything that's left over, you can create meals with those, right? So anything that you would consider as a preparation is what I call meal prepping. Right?
Do most men, do they tend to eat the same thing over and over?
Most men can get away with eating the same thing over and over again. Yes, we really don't really care so much about changes, but I know that a lot of people, they don't want to eat the same thing over again. And I'm probably one of those people who don't like to eat the same food over again, but I do like leftovers.
It seems like the people who are most successful with weight loss tend to kind of eat the same things.
Consistency,
during that time.
I think.
Yes,
right.
Consistency. That'll be interesting.
Right.
And I would love to hear when we get back what it is that you make. What would you suggest as far as the foods that are the healthiest, if you don't mind?
Sounds good.
And so stay right here, so when we get back, Thomas will do that and help us.
Awesome.
Life Solutions Coaching and Counseling in Hazlet, Texas is a full-service wellness clinic providing individual, group, and family counseling, one-on-one coaching for life and wellness, and naturopathic treatments of medical massage therapy combined with essential oils to ensure you reach your health and wellness goals. Sessions are available in person or by phone. Get started on your new life today. Just call 817-232-1363 or go to LifeSolutionsCoachingandCounseling.com or email them at LifeSolutionsCC@yahoo.com.
Sunshine Herbs in Saginaw, Texas, on Main Street, Business 287, has all of your supplement needs and healthy food products. So, my suggestion for you, visit Sunshine Herbs today and let their knowledgeable staff who know all their products and their naturopathic doctor lead you to a life of health and wellness so that you too can live well.
They say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural longevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. Call today, 800-214-0065.
Estasis Angels Animal Rescue and Sanctuary in Nevada, Texas needs your help. Hundreds of animals in North Texas are homeless and facing hard winters and 2 hot summers every single year. Estasis Angels rescues those in need, providing spays and neuters, all vaccinations and microchipping, as well as treating heartworms and other medical needs prior to adoption. They offer a foster to adopt program for those needing extra care so that families can bond with their new pets sooner. Rehoming fees are only $250 to $350 to help cover these costs. If the animals are not adoptable, they live out their lives with this amazing group, Estasis Angels, Rescues for Life. They're a volunteer-only and donation-based organization that relies on the generosity of others to keep this rescue going. Donations of cash, supplies, or services are tax-deductible and very much appreciated. Volunteer to help save more lives, foster, donate, adopt. Visit ASTASIASangels.org for all the details. AstasisAngels.org.
To admit it's getting better, a little better all the time.
And now here's more Getting Better with Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
We just want to wish all you fathers out there just a happy Father's Day. And if you're not a father yet and you are looking forward to the time, that would be exciting. And we will just be praying for you. We have Thomas here to help us with a guide for all you dads to know how to lead your family to health and wellness. And Thomas, on the break, we were talking about the importance, if your kids eat nutritionally well and they're getting their nutrients, they behave so much better.
Yes.
They sleep so much better. Their grades are so much better, and they're happier, and it just makes it so much easier to enjoy them. And you can say that about your wife, too, that getting all your nutrients and your, 90 nutrients is so important to wellness.
That's correct. And studies have shown over and over again that we have over 60% of kids right now that are in some kind of medication or some type of behavioral problem, right? And that's a lot. So we're talking about kids in school, kids homeschooled, that are having behavioral issues, whether they can't focus at school, they can't focus on their studies, or they're rebelling against their parents, and then we don't know how to address that.
Right.
And a lot of times, I would say a good 80% of the time, this issue can be fixed through nutrition. And, instead of giving them medication, give them a multivitamin, change their diet.
Make sure they get their minerals.
They get their minerals.
Yes.
Make sure that the food that they're eating is actually dense nutritionally, right? So if you look at the back of the label of any nutritional labels, you have to look at not just your fat and carbohydrates and protein. You have to look at all the vitamins that includes in that. Whether they get magnesium, whether they get potassium, whether they get vitamin A, B, C. And you're going to find out that everything that's usually in a box or frozen outside of vegetables and fruits don't have that. It doesn't contain that. It's usually empty.
Yeah, it's empty calories,
right? It's empty calories. A back of a cereal box. They might have fiber and they might have some proteins in them, but they don't have anything else to offer.
Right. And it's so, great when you learn that ADD is just a chromium and vanadium deficiency. So they're having blood sugar issues, and they just need to put that chromium vanadium back in to fix those blood sugar issues.
Well,
and then they stabilize. And so really that is wonderful to know. And if you're having them, kids love what kids love, fish sticks and macaroni and cheese and all that kind of stuff. And so, but if you can move them towards more of what we might call a natural diet,
correct,
right? More natural from the ground,
Right, closest to the source as possible. Right, nothing. When you say processed, that means it's been divided so many times that it's actually not as whole anymore. So things that are whole, not just whole grains, but anything that is considered as organic, whole, or sprouted, those type of things will have more nutrition in them than the ones that have been processed or divided.
Is that why they call Whole Foods Whole Foods?
Hey, Whole Foods,
thought,
exactly.
What an interesting name, right?
Yeah, you pull it from the ground, it's ready to go.
So it's not divided at all. That's what a process
it's not
means.
Yeah, that's correct.
I did not know that. That is really a good thing to know. Even the milk, it gets divided. They skim off the fat. They do all this stuff. And they used to. I didn't know this, but farmers used to use skim milk. The skim milk, after they did all this stuff for with their cows, the skim milk they actually sprayed out in the fields and in their grass to make it more nutrient. And Ron Neitzel, who was on last week, his book, Green Wizard, talks about using milk, the skim milk, like a waste, but it's great for your lawns.
Right.
And it's crazy. I'd never heard of such a thing. And so and people drink that. And
correct.
They'll just drink skim milk that doesn't have anything in it.
And that's another misunderstanding out there when you're talking about skim milk versus whole milk. You want to have a whole organic milk, but again, skimming the milk to zero fat doesn't make it any healthier. There's actually a lot of studies now that showing, recent studies that shows that people who drink skim milk every day has a tendency to have a higher blood sugar level and also gain more weight than the person who drinks whole milk, eats butter, and creamer, a whole cow creamer.
Yes.
Right? So because the fat is not ingested into the skim milk anymore, now you're having to look for nutrients somewhere else. Right. And so now you have to go around and look for food that still doesn't have any nutritional value to them, and then you immediately you end up eating more calories throughout the day.
And I know for you eat that, right? That's how you eat, whole and butter and whole milk. And I would love to hear more about that after we hear from our sponsors, because I think that the way you eat is very important to how you look. And the keto thing that a lot of people talk about,
Right.
But also the fitness. So for you to, keto is such a confusing thing for people. But basically, what does it mean just basically?
So keto is basically just anything that is considered as a high-fat diet where your body uses fat in general for energy. A lot of people utilize this particular way of lifestyle as a way for them to function better.
The high functioning more with fat, that's what they do, right? They function better with fat. They're more clear-headed. They have more energy. It is the strength.
So, again, we can talk about that a little bit more
when we get right back.
Right.
Hello, this is Dr. Jim Slaughter. I find most married men experience frustration because there are things they want from their marriage but they don't know how to get. Nothing seems to work. Desires are unfulfilled and relationships have become stagnant. Men today are desperate for a more satisfying and intimate marriage. Join me as I coach men around the world how to transform their marriage on my show Men Loving Well, Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. on graceandtruthradio.world.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-985-1813 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-985-1813 now. Again, that's 800-985-1813. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
When was the last time you really lost control of your morning radio listening? May I suggest JP, Kathy, and the crew?
I'm JP.
I'm Kathy. And together we're
JP,
Kathy,
and the crew.
And you are?
Kathy.
No, the crew.
Oh, man. I thought we were switching back personalities.
You got to stay with this here. If you're going to run with it, run with it. I mean, come on.
Both of you hush. They're JP, Kathy, and the crew. Check them out tomorrow morning and every morning, 8 to 9 on 1160 AM KBDT.
To admit it's getting better, a little better all the time.
If you'd like to get better, call Ann right now. 214-810-8255. 214-810-TALK. Now more with Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back. God, Thomas on the break, he's teaching me so much. A lot about sugar. Okay, so we were talking about nutrition, and the importance of nutrition. And I was talking about keto and high fat because I know that's what he does. But he did point out on break that's not what he would have kids do, right?
No, especially not for children who are growing, teenagers. The body still requires a certain amount of carbohydrates to function, especially for kids who are trying to grow. Their muscles require that for the moment, unless they have a certain medical condition like epilepsy, where a ketogenic diet is prescribed. But that has to be regulated. It has to be done through a medical setting because there's a fasting involved in that. Whenever you're in a ketogenic diet, your body actually goes into a fasted state, right? Because the body doesn't trigger insulin when you're eating a high-fat diet. So I want to be very careful whenever I say that you want to eat what you want your kids or children to eat what you would eat. Mm-hmm. But if you're on an extreme diet like a ketogenic diet and it's working for you, that doesn't mean that your kids have to be on the same space. But they can eat the same similar food groups like the avocados, the nuts, the seeds, the coconut oil. They can eat that too. But you have to give them some carbohydrates in the process. But you want to make sure that the carbohydrates are whole.
They're whole.
Again, meaning plant-based, whole, not processed. Right? That doesn't mean they can have spaghettis and macaroni and cheeses,
which is what they have so much of.
Exactly.
And ramen. Like, I can't tell you how many kids they tell me they eat ramen all the time.
Right.
And I'm not talking about ramen restaurant where they go get it all natural and healthy, but we're talking about ramen from the package.
Like ramen noodles, exactly.
Yeah. And so, but I did ask you what kind of carbohydrates. So sugar is not good.
Sugar is not required by the body. It's one of those things that you don't need to have sugar in order for you to function. A lot of the carbohydrates that you would eat from a whole grain standpoint, from a plant, they will already be turned into glucose, right? So that process will happen naturally in your body.
And then I said honey, agave, and you're like,
those are very popular. It's been peddled out there as a healthy choice. Even organic cane sugar. But anything that is in sugar form already by itself, it's something that may or may not be naturally occurring, but they have to extract this from somewhere, like molasses, right? You have to extract it from the tree, just like agave. You have to extract it from a plant.
So it's not whole.
It's not necessarily whole anymore, So you're extracting the juice, the concentrated sugar juice, from somewhere, just like sugar.
It's like doing apple juice from an apple.
Exactly. Right? So people who juices a lot, you're not getting all the nutritional value into the fruit because you're extracting the sugar out of the fruit. And you're leaving all the fibers and the nutrients from the stem, from the skin, from the actual fruit itself or the vegetables even. right? So you're removing those things that are actually healthier for you as a whole.
Well, and they slow down the absorption.
They slow down
That's
the
what you were
absorption.
talking about. So he told me that. I'm sorry. He told me that honey is a waste product by
Of
the
the bees.
bees, that they poop it out. Is that totally true?
They spit it out technically.
They spit it out. They spit it
Yeah.
out. Like they don't eat it.
No.
Right? I don't think I realized that. And then bee pollen is also poop.
Bee poop. That's
bee
pretty
spit,
much what it is.
Whatever it is. So they don't use any of that.
No.
They produce it. I didn't know. It's like a waste product. So I don't even want to compare it to our waste products, right? But that's what you mean.
Correct.
And we're eating their waste.
Correct.
But there are some good things from it, but all in very, very moderate.
If you weigh the options of good and bad, you're probably going to get more bad than good. So I would say minimally, you can take some for a little bit of flavor. And I understand in cooking, right, you need a little bit of flavor. So I'm not against flavor. I mean, I would put a lot of salt in my food. I put a little bit of honey in
a lot
my...
of spices.
A lot of spices,
Yeah.
definitely. You know, you want to be adventurous when it comes to cooking. But if that's the staple of your cooking, then it's not a good thing.
Yes,
Right.
because we were talking about the FDA. You know, they have a lot of grains, whole grains, but as the main base of your diet, but whole grains block absorption.
Yeah,
and so if you get fiber, you really want to do it with like green beans and fruit and things like that. You know, fiber versus bread, which blocks absorption all the time. And
Right. So everyone knows that the USDA or the food pyramid is antiquated, and it's already been said that that's something that the government had put out there to show you that you have to eat 9 to 12 servings of grains a day, right? And we're finding out now that you don't really need that much.
Not at all.
You know, right? And some people can function without any of it at all. That that the importance of eating whole is coming from plants, right? Just an example. I'll give you a few animals that doesn't eat any meat or grains at all, but they're probably, I would say, 1 to 2% body fat, right? A gorilla, for example, is a true vegetarian, but they might eat a little bit of bugs here and there within the plant, but look how strong they are.
They're very
right?
strong.
And we're supposed to be the closest species to a monkey or a gorilla as possible, right?
But we don't eat like them.
But we don't eat like that.
Right, and that's why we don't look like that.
No.
But you look like that. I'm not saying you look like a gorilla.
Okay.
But you're like, you look at you and you're like, whoa, look at you. You are fit. Like, and you're not extreme. I mean, you look good. But I think if I noticed it's just all toned, but you still glow and you still look so healthy and your eyes are bright. And so often you'll see people, because, Dixon Edwards is one of the Cowboys. He told me that when he was playing, he wasn't in shape at all. He ate bad. I mean, he was in shape. Let me take that back. He looked fit, right? But he said he ate terribly. And the way he's eating now, he's lost so much weight and he eats so healthy. And he was telling me about how he eats, and his eyes are real shiny, bright.
Exactly.
And his skin glows and his hair glows. And you just see him look so healthy when they do that.
And I go back to my first statement that what's important are your cells inside.
The telomeres.
Exactly. Everything that's inside of you is what you want to feed, right? And
Yeah.
everything outside is going to show what's inside of you. So when your skin glows or your hair is shiny and when your eyes are open, right, and when you're awake in the morning and not tired, all of that is what's going on inside of your body. But if you wake up groggy and tired and the first thing you have to do is grab a coffee or some kind of caffeine to wake your brain up, that's not a good sign. When your hair is drying, your nails are not growing, right? Those are not good signs.
That means inside things
Inside
are bad.
internally,
Yeah,
it's dying on the inside. And we
Yeah.
are going to die eventually, but we don't need to speed up the process.
Well, and I know that time is an issue, and you talked about that before.
Yes.
That time, how does a dad get time, and how to to take care of all these, get time, helping them get out and about, and then to help them eat well instead of just grabbing something from a package.
Right, and that's one thing again. And here's another thing too, and it might be a trick or not a trick, but I like to take my daughter back in the days. We used to go grocery shopping together because I want to give her the ability to choose also. So we would go through the aisles, around the corners. What they tell you is don't go through the middle aisle because that's where all the bad stuff is, right?
Right.
And believe it or not, we go through the middle aisle, but I make her choose the ones, and I show her that first. Kids, they're not going to just choose this by themselves. You show them, and they will follow that, right? That's what you do as a parent. You lead them, right? You don't dictate, but you lead. You says, hey, this is what mom and dad gets. And then they're going to see that, and they're like, oh, that's what I'm going to get too. So if you show them how to shop and you show them how to choose, they will make better choices, right? And now it becomes an activity. Going to the grocery store is an activity. Going to the park is a fun place to go. Instead of sitting at home playing video games.
Yeah, so getting out to the grocery store, you're walking around. That's a really good,
a
good idea because they're out and about, which people used to do, you know. And I think just having them be a part of your life and getting them out,
right?
Instead of giving them an electronic babysitter and you going,
that's right,
right? But getting them out, then also teaching them about food while you're there.
Teaching them about choices in general.
Choices, yes.
Really, that's what's important, And it's food choices is just one battle, and then life choices is another. But you're showing them how to make choices for themselves, right? You're building the building blocks so that they can make these choices for themselves as they grow up as an adult, or a young adult, as a teenager. When they go somewhere, they now have choices. When you go to a restaurant, it's a huge deal. Every time I find these teaching moments, right? When I go to a restaurant, I pick from the menu so that my kids can see. When I used to coach a team, I would show them, like, these are the foods that we should choose from, right? Because I'm responsible for the entire team. So now I'm going to show you guys how to choose when we go somewhere, right? And so those are some of the things that you can do as a teaching moment, especially if you're a dad who doesn't have a lot of time. You got to choose those little moments very wisely, because when you have just a little bit of time, you're working night shift, you're working 12 to 14-hour days, you work Monday through Saturday, you might have one day off a week, then those teaching moments are crucial. When you're in a restaurant, when you're at the grocery store, when you're at the mall, what does Daddy pick? When we go to the State Fair, Texas, on once a year,
oh my goodness,
right? So what does Dad do? So you can have fun and still show them certain things that they can choose from. As they get older, they're going to remember that.
And I know for you, Thomas, that when, being a peak performance trainer, like a trainer for you, people get fit so fast. I mean, they look so different so quickly.
Right.
And you post those pictures on Facebook and you can see that it happens so quickly. So nutrition is a big part of that for you.
That's
that
correct.
You teach them.
That's correct. Most of the people that I train, they're already either active in the gym or they're somewhat active in a way that all we need to do is just push them over the edge and say, hey, this is your potential, right? You're in your 20s. You can really look like you're in your 20s rather than you looking like you're in your mid-30s, right? So I'm just showing them potentially what they can do, because there's a lot of misconceptions about dieting. And dieting in general is usually, for a lot of people, is restriction. And to me, dieting is anything you put in your mouth, that's a diet. I don't care if it's a good diet or a bad diet, right? I'm not the judge of that. I'm just telling you nutritionally what you should do, right? So if you're putting something in your mouth, that's a diet. If you eat 5 ice creams a day, that's your diet, right?
Well, and I know that people, you've talked about coffee before working out when I've showed up with how much coffee did you have?
I wasn't meaning to point that to you, though.
But I do know that I started thinking about it because I started thinking that it takes away from, what I drink instead.
Correct.
So if I have a lot of coffee, then I'm not drinking the BTT, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine by Longevity. I'm not.
Or water.
Or water.
Yeah.
Anything really good for me. It's not that I don't intend on having that later, but I find that if I just have the coffee, I'm not, because they have it at work, right? And so you can find yourself, and that's a dehydrating drink.
That's
not
correct.
a hydrating drink. But I find that I don't end up drinking things that are good for me, only because I only drink so many times in the day, right?
Correct.
And so I've had people say that about Diet Coke, that they plan on having, so Beyond Tangy Tangerine, a lot of people have. And so that it has all the nutrients by Longevity. And so all of us that are, listen to Dr. Wallach, we drink that all the time, but you got to make sure you drink it twice a day.
Yeah,
right?
You do.
But I have all the other kind of drinks. So by you reminding me about that, it helped me. But I know your gym is in Saginaw.
Right. I have one in Saginaw, and there's one in Weatherford as well.
So let people know how they can reach you, because I don't want to forget to do that.
They can go to my website. It's Peak Performance Fitness Texas for TX.com. That's one way. They can message me there directly, and I will respond to them as soon as possible. We also have a Facebook page, Peak Performance Fitness and Nutrition, and that way you can also reach me that way. Instagram as well, Peak Performance Fitness is on Instagram as well. So, yeah, there's several ways you can reach me.
Now, do you train people over the internet or through Facebook? Or
There are some people that I train. You call those online clients. So we create workouts for them. I create workouts for them. I utilize an app so that way we can correspond with each other through messaging, private messages. We track progress that way. They can upload photos. They can upload their stats on a weekly basis.
So what are the best apps for you when you think about that? Because I know you did that for me as far as weight loss, right? When you think of some things people could do that are out there that might help them, some of the best apps as far as nutrition.
So there's a lot of tracking apps, but there's an app that actually helps you as far as building a guideline for you, and then also preventing you from being stagnant. There's one is a free app called Eat This Much that I use because it is a free app, and a lot of people can use that. They can download it, and what it does is it can actually help calculate some of your macros for you, and then it help create a menu. You can choose a diet within the app, and again, you want to make sure that it's well-rounded, right? So don't let the app dictate what you do.
Because you can pick it.
You can pick it,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, that's very
But
interesting.
at least it gives you a guideline, right, to start off, and that's what I like about it. Outside of MyFitnessPal, which is you have to download food into that, and it's not really creating a menu for you.
Well, and when you have something, those apps on the phone, you can even teach your kids to use those. They're healthy eating or their favorite things or anything. But there's also apps for spending time with your family.
Right.
They actually have apps for dad. So did you know that? You can check out the apps.
Right, exactly. And then you can always create menus too, desserts and stuff like that all the family can have. And then you guys can share that together. And I think that's what's great about it is you can always create these moments with your family.
I would also suggest, he talks about meal prepping. If you have your favorite meals.
Say we're not getting any younger, but many thousands have felt younger after a few short months using Dr. Wallach's all-natural longevity nutritional supplements. How many times have you said one of these days I need to call Dr. Wallach and find out what I need? Well, make that day today. Here's how to get that information. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call. The information is free and there is no pressure. So do it now. That's 800-214-0065. If you face health challenges such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, infertility, ADD or ADHD, high blood pressure, or one of hundreds of other diseases, help is available. All you have to do is make the call. You have nothing to lose but the pain and suffering. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. You've been listening to Dr. Wallach, and I bet you have some questions. We want to help. And here's how you can get the answers. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Write that number down and make the call right now. Don't wait any longer to find out how Dr. Wallach's own all-natural nutritional supplements by Longevity can help you. Are you concerned with reducing your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, or high blood pressure? Help is available. Do you have arthritis, sore joints, lower back pain, or fibromyalgia? Call now. Dr. Wallach creates his own formulation so you can be sure that what is on the label is actually in the bottle. Whatever your health challenge, make this call. Thousands like you have seen results for a happier, healthier life. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Call today, 800-214-0065. Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-985-1813 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-985-1813 now. Again, that's 800-985-1813. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
I've got to admit, it's getting better, a little better, all the time.
You're getting better all the time. Now, back to Ann Beal on 1160 AM KBDT.
Welcome back. First thing I want to say is I want to let you know that I have Greg J. Matthews on next week. Greg was attacked by a grizzly bear in 2015 on a trip to Alaska hunting moose. And it is quite a miracle. He has quite a story. And so he will be on here next week. And it's just fantastic. I've gotten to know him, and it's an amazing story. We'd love to have you here. And now Thomas was just going to share with us actually some really wonderful eating tips. Go right ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, so one of the things that we discussed during our break was in regards to snacking versus eating whole meals, right? So we've been told many times to eat 5 or 6 meals a day, small meals a day to regulate blood sugar, and that's something that most people are doing right now. The problem that you do when you do that is your body's metabolism only goes up to the highest level of your intake. So when you're eating a bunch of 100 calories, 200 calories, 2 to 3 hours every day, you're actually also spiking your blood sugar level, right? So that's another thing. So people who are already type 2 diabetics or diabetics in general, their blood sugar never goes down. And when you split the meals in 5 to 6 meals a day, you're talking about an even bigger eating window, maybe 12 to 14 hours of eating window, where your body is not breaking down body fat for fuel. So again, there's a science behind regulating blood sugar, but I don't think it was meant to extend it for this long. So a lot of people don't understand that if you don't eat your meals properly, meaning you're not combining your meals together, you are going to have these sugar cravings at night. You are going to feel hungry. You're not going to feel satisfied. And then you end up reaching for a bad snack.
Right.
Right? And you end up falling off your diet. So what I like to do myself, and this is my own personal way, is I like to combine my food together. So breakfast to a lot of people is very important. To me, breakfast is very important because it's the first meal of the day. It doesn't have to start in the morning. I usually eat my breakfast when I finish all my trainings, all my workouts. So by the time I get home, maybe noon or 1 is when I have my first meal. And that to me is breakfast. So it doesn't have to be eggs and omelet and pancakes or bacon, right? It can be anything that I want. So if I get up and I start working my day out, and then I go home and I start eating my first meal, which is my breakfast, breaking my fast, then I start combining my meals because now my window. So what do you
combine?
I combine my lunch and what I would have for breakfast. So for example, if I have a smoothie in the morning, right? If I have a berry smoothie in the morning with a protein, with almond milk, and I would usually add some kale or spinach into that smoothie. That way it's combined. And then I have a side salad with that, and I have my protein. I might even have some rice with it, So again, I have a little bit of grain to recover from my body. So I have all the combination of lunch and breakfast at the same time, right? And that might be 700-800 calories at one meal. But that way I'm not eating small meals. I'm having 3 big meals. And each one of those are regulated because I don't put a lot of sugar in my food.
Right. And it seems like the people who are overweight, they really have sugar, and they don't know, like even the bread turns to sugar because bread has sugar in it. And so for you, nutrient dense is very important, not so much the calories.
That's correct. Yeah, the calories to me doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't count calories for the day. You know, I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat what's the most nutritionally food in the pantry or in the refrigerator.
So tell us. So you told us about your protein drink.
Right.
It's a berry yogurt
Yeah,
drink.
I usually add about a cup of mixed berries on there. I put about a mixture of blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries, depending on the season. If it's summertime, right now is the best time to get berries. In the wintertime, usually the only way to get that better is through frozen, because it can preserve a lot of the nutrients when it's frozen, flash froze. But what I do with that is I add some almond milk. I put some almond milk on there. I put a scoop of collagen powder. For a lot of you who never tried collagen before, it is a great way to add protein into your diet. And also it's helped your bones and skin and nails. It keeps you, it keeps you young. It keeps your skin.
That why your
pretty
skin
much,
looks so great.
And that's one of the things.
Wow.
But you can add any other things in there. And I usually have a plant-based protein drink that I usually add, which is there's one called Living Fuel that you can buy from the store, Orgain, Vega. These are all plant-based. It's very high in antioxidant.
Dr. Wallach has a greens one too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot of these products that you can buy now in an organic food store. So, and then some people ask, why do you use plant-based? Well, if I was to do dollar for dollar, a whey protein shake versus a plant-based shake, I'm going to get more nutrition out of plant-based than I would out of a whey protein.
And these are so good to know. I just thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And I know tomorrow you're going to spend time with your children and your
Yes.
family, but you're also going to work out.
That's right.
And we just thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Remember, Grizzly Attack Survivor. Next week, Greg Matthews. We'll see you here